Now, Sharitha,
Yes, sir.
tell us some old. Just give us an old school death row story. An old school
An
story.
old school death row
Yeah,
story. Oh,
some.
goodness.
Give us some juicy shit, some heat seeking shit. You know what I'm saying? Just something that's not incriminating, but with some good shit. Just a story that has never been heard
I don't know.
before.
Everything is incriminating.
What some
No,
some
it's
some good
not.
shit that's not incriminating and that has never been heard before.
I gotta say that never been heard before.
Mm.
People. I gotta say that, Rail. I gotta. Let me think. Let me think of something that's okay to say.
Mm-hmm.
Um. Hmm. Real. Let's see. Okay, why don't we start with somebody asking me a question, and then I could probably go from there. Let's see. Sugar
Okay.
Light is Snoop.
Somebody said, "Why did Snoop need cops for security at the family reunion?"
Because at a family reunion, the places it was at, I think he had one at a park, and people don't respect you when you're with your family. And I know you're a celebrity, and people get excited,
Mm-hmm.
but you always need security. It's not because you're scary or somebody's trying to kill you. You just need security to stay out of trouble.
Mm-hmm. That's what that was. Okay. Someone asked,
Yeah. So
"Did Suge beat anybody in front of you?" Why would you ask that? Now you
okay,
plead. That's
that gives me the story. That gives me the one story.
okay. Uh oh.
I
Once.
don't know. I don't know if I've told this and they've heard this particular story, but we were in a liquor store one night,
Mm-hmm.
and this Mexican,
Mm-hmm.
he was drunk,
Mm-hmm.
and he kept following me around the store.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, dude, I know you drunk. Stop, stop, stop. So
Mm.
Suge turns around. He said, dude, leave my wife alone. She told you to stop. What? Dude, what you gonna do? Dude kept going. So I'm thinking Suge was gonna ignore the dude because the dude was drunk.
Mm-hmm.
So he puts the stuff on the counter, and the guy was like, this is it. I think the guy ended up touching me, and all I know, the guy arms went spread it out,
Mm.
and he fell back into the potato chip rack.
God damn it. That
I
was.
was like,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
oh my god. Oh yeah, I've seen Suge. I've seen Suge in some fights, and contrary to somebody who was that the barber caught him off guard, and
Mm-hmm.
the older you get, the you don't have it as much.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell you guys one thing for sure: Suge can fight. Suge grew up fighting,
Oh, Reggie
and
said
I've
that.
saw him fight before. I've seen him fight, and that nigga got hands.
Yeah, Reggie said he had hands. Now let me ask you this
He got
question:
hands. He
Was
got some serious hands.
Now was this Suge before death row or Suge during death row when he put hands on the Mexican?
This was before death row.
Oh, okay, before death row. Okay, cause death row
Yeah,
Suge.
when we were here in college at UNLV, Suge used to be a bouncer at Mr. G's club.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Okay. Yeah, cause
I, I've seen him throw some hands. I'm like, oh, okay,
mm,
I see you, boy.
that turned women on when us men put them hands to work. Mm.
No, it does not. I
It
don't think
does.
it's when it's necessary. I don't believe in putting your hands on people when it's not necessary. But he only did it before death row. I know for a fact it was only when it was necessary.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now someone said, tell us
Yes,
about.
I remember Heron. I
Mm-hmm.
remember Heron. Heron was, well, besides Buntry, Heron was my next favorite.
Okay. Now,
About the first UK.
yeah, tell us
TV
about the
movie
first
sneaker.
UK. Some about the first UK interview Snoop was on, and you were there. Any stories?
Oh God, you guys know a lot of stuff. I don't even remember some of this stuff.
Mm.
Oh goodness. Oh, oh. Let me see about the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. The only I can't remember too much of his interviews. All I know is we were in London
Mm-hmm.
one time, and after a concert, we came back. They paid with their money, and I
Mm-hmm.
hate that. I always accept the U.S. dollars, but this
Mm-hmm.
particular night, they ended up wanting to give us that money. That
Mm-hmm.
it looked like real paper.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay. So I had to convert it and figure out if I was getting cheated or not. So they put it in. I had to put it in a paper bag, and it's this money. It's nothing like American dollars. I don't know if you guys know what London, or some of you guys are from London, but I get to the hotel and I want to put the money in the safe at the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
The bag just burst all over the hotel. Money was flying in the lobby of the hotel, and thank God it was nobody there. But you know the one person that was there?
Who?
Rum Paul. He was right in the lobby looking at me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she a fool. This money just flew all over the lobby.
Wow, that was a lot of money then.
It was a lot of money, because you usually pick up half. You get half deposited. You pick up the other half upon arrival. And that's the one part I didn't like,
Mm-hmm.
is I always had the cash.
Now, did they cheat you out of your money, or they paid the right amount?
No. It was one concert. I can't remember what state we were in, and it was not sold out. And sometimes, the promoter didn't have enough to pay, and this is why you get half of it up front. But we cannot go on because we get the bad reputation for them not going on.
Right. But it's not your fault though.
Let's see. No, it's not.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So
I'm on camera on where? Oh, I gotta look that up.
you on camera. Okay. Now, where were you at when Should let you knew that he was getting ready to bring Tupac to death row? Where were you at? Were you at home, at the office, riding around getting your hair and nails done? Where were you at when?
I don't know the exact date or where I was at when he told me. He asked me what I thought about Tupac.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly had to say I don't know, because I don't remember if I heard him in the Humpty Hump. And I was like, oh, the guy that was in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And so naturally, when he mentions someone to me, I always have to go and find their music, or he'll send me something to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
And I got into Dear Mama.
Mm-hmm.
That was the song. And I was like, oh, he hot. Other than that, I don't know. And I remember Tupac got out of jail, and he says, come up to the studio and meet Pop. I'm like, okay. So I rode up there, and that was the first time I met him. And the next time he was at my house eating. And then the next time I was at his house trying to redecorate his house from the crappy furniture they bought him.
Crappy furniture. Wow, that was at Thug's Mansion.
I think, Tony, Pac is very attractive. He's just short. He's a little short dude.
Wow, Pac was he was a short nigga compared to Snoop and Suge.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, especially when you see a tall, lanky, tall guy you have to look up to, and you see a big guy. I've been around this big guy forever. And then I finally saw another person that was really tall, which was Snoop. And I was like, dang. And he used to come, when I first met him, he always wore cut off khakis, and his socks was to his knees. I'm like, dude.
Who, Tupac?
Really?
Tupac or Snoop?
No, Snoop.
Oh, okay.
Snoop.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that wasn't cool when.
And yes, Snoop really smoked that much weed. And he might be pretending, because that puff puff pass thing they got going on. And I didn't smoke, so I try not to be. I always had a different car. I never rolled in the same car with them. And so I've seen them smoke, don't get me wrong, but it's that pass. So how much do you really smoke?
Yeah, because, Snoop make it seem like he smokes a lot of motherfucking marijuana.
He does. They do. They do.
Mm-hmm.
They really do.
So now let me ask you. Let me ask you a question. Now, when did you notice that there may have been animosity between Tupac and Snoop Dogg?
I'd never seen any. And that's honest. I've never seen any animosity between Snoop and Tupac, even when we was on tour together. I did not ever see that. So when people say that, I'm like, I didn't notice that one. But you guys got to realize I wasn't the hangout kind of person. I just fixed the problems when they
Okay.
arose.
Now, was Pac a big bud smoker as well? Did he smoke more weed than Snoop did, or they was on neck and neck with smoking weed?
I've never seen Pac smoke weed.
Never. Well, no, he was a weed smoker, they claim, but yeah, he may not have smoked during
Never,
business.
never seen Pac smoke weed. Never seen Dre smoke weed.
Yeah, Dre didn't smoke. Now, I'm gonna get a lot of flack when I ask this question because I know a lot of people they feel that Tupac is, he's God to them and he cannot do any wrong, and Tupac just is that guy to a lot of people. Now, do you feel that Tupac brought a lot of negativity to death row when he came?
Uh, no, I don't think so. Because we're all adults, and I think you can either follow or not follow.
Right.
And the only negative problem Pac even had was the whole Biggie and Puffy shooting him. He believed that. He
Mm-hmm.
was adamant about it, and then you could say to him that would change his mind. So I have to say that's the biggest negative thing he brought over to death row.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely,
And
but
Suge is just a ride or die, Sugar ride or die kind of person.
right. So Suge was riding
He
with him.
don't he don't have to know why, what, when, or where. You tell him you got a problem with somebody, he got a problem with somebody.
Done deal. Okay, big homie. All right.
No, I don't think Tupac was a gangbanger. I was not in Cabo with this fight with Corrupt. I don't see Corrupt as a fighter, so I didn't hear about that either.
Mm.
Um, let's see.
Why you say damn, Jeffrey Golston? Why did you say damn? Oh, Sharitha, someone told me to ask you what was the going rate to get to book Tupac and Snoop back then?
First of all, it depends on the size of your venue.
Mm-hmm.
A club date, if you wanted, how many? Okay, club. If you asked him to come to a club, then I think he was making 25,000 for 30 minutes at a club to be showing up at a club.
Okay.
A venue in the UK, it was probably about 100,000.
Okay. So that while Tupac was out on death row, did y'all make it to the? Did he make it to the UK? That's on my end, ladies and gentlemen. Call fail. So that's on my end. Let me get it back on the phone. Okay. That was my phone. That was mine. That wasn't yours. Your call dropped. Now I was asking, did Tupac ever make it to do a show over in the UK while he was on death row?
No,
Okay.
he didn't. Uh-uh.
Okay.
And no, I don't see no gay in Pac at all. So who put that rumor out? I have no idea.
And Pac was nowhere near gay. He was like me. He
No.
was a pussy crook. He was the pussy crook. He used to steal the pussy like me. And when I say steal it, not raping, you know what I'm saying? So let's clear that shit out. Okay.
And Tupac wasn't a gangbanger. For that matter, Suge wasn't a gangbanger. Let's be real about it. Suge wasn't a gangbanger. I'm not going to speak on Snoop being a gangbanger. But, people that didn't come from that world don't understand. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to necessarily be a gangbanger
Mm-hmm.
to be associated with your hood.
Mm-hmm.
Even I had the stigma of what my hood was. People would come up to you, what's that you from? I'm not from a stat. What hood you live in? Where you live? And you become that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how the hood became. So you are where you live.
Okay. That's true. So let me ask you a question. Did you see all of the Versace shit that Versace sent over when they sent it over for Tupac? It's like, okay, we want to you got a Versace body. We want to give you all this Versace shit. Did you see all that shit when it came through?
No, Versace. I didn't see Versace send Tupac anything. Tupac had already had those shirts that he was wearing. He was really into Versace. Now, whether Versace gave him gear or not, I'm not aware of that.
Okay, yeah, because he said Versace gave him some gear. I hope Pac didn't
And
lie.
they might have, because he was rocking the heck out of that stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so he came into the game of Death Row. So did he was Snoop and Suge wearing Versace before Pac got there, or Pac put them up on it?
Um, hmm. No, I think as far as Versace, Pop rocked that Versace first.
Okay, so he bought them.
That wasn't Snoop's look.
Okay, so he bought them niggas into the Versace game. That's pimping,
Yeah,
big pimping.
and Cristal got very popular from Tupac too.
Okay, so they was drinking Moet
Snoop,
still, not Cristal. He was drinking that when Pac came.
yeah, he until he came. Gin and Juice was Snoop thing. He brought that to light. Um, Dre, I don't recall Dre ever mentioning a drink, but Dre's drink I want to say was Hennessy.
Okay. Yeah, he used to talk about
But
Hennessy. He mentioned Hennessy a couple times.
he mentioned Hennessy. Okay,
Yeah.
so I spoke on it.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, and Big and everybody copied Pac style because them niggas wasn't wearing Versace until Tupac was. Okay. So.
Okay, let me finish clarifying gang.
Okay.
Uh, if I throw up a Crip sign, don't mean I got initiated into a gang.
Right.
Just because I say MOB, don't mean MOB initiated me into that gang. Just because I say Long Beach Crip, don't mean I got initiated in that gang. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I lived on 109th in Normandy. That's Hoover Crip.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a Hoover Crip. Could I do the Crip walk? Yes.
Mm.
But that's just what it is.
Okay.
So you guys got to leave the Suge and the gang banging, and I'm not going to speak on Snoop because I don't know about what he went through in Long Beach, but Suge did not get initiated in no gang as a teenager. Now,
Mm-hmm.
what the hell happened to him as a grown ass man? I don't know.
He was just
But
affiliated.
he lived in that area. His friends were blood, so that's what he grew up at.
That's true. I was affiliated because of the neighborhood I lived in back in the day, which was the Headbangers over off of Promenade, over off of Gunston and Connor area back in the day. So I was affiliated, but I wasn't a member. So just hanging out with those guys, you were affiliated. When the work was needed to be put in, if you was with them, you was putting in work as well. So this affiliation.
Yeah. And anything about Afeni, I met Afeni a couple of times. She was a nice lady. The last time I saw Afeni is in Vegas during a shooting.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, like I said, we don't. I don't even really see this. And let me say this because I really don't. I try to move on from the Tupac situation because we hear the same. A lot of this shit we hearing is the same shit. Asking over and over again, and you getting the same question. No, same answer. No matter how they flip the shit over and turn it, you're getting the same goddamn answer from everybody. So you might have one channel say, "Oh, this and that, whoop whoop, this and that," but you're getting the same fucking shit. Like somebody asked me, real talk, real, how did I feel about to the state winning back the masters, unreleased masters? My answer was this simple: I don't care to hear it, and I'm going to tell you why I don't care to hear it is because the estate is finna rip away all of the original people who were on those tracks, the original production work, and they're gonna add some of these young motherfuckers like Kanye West who don't give a fuck about Tupac and who don't know who the fuck Tupac is. They're gonna add a Kanye West. Or they're gonna add a Kodak Black. Are they gonna add Cardi B? Are they gonna add the Migos or whoever? Nicki Minaj. They're gonna add Lil Wayne. They're gonna add what's hot right now to these old Tupac tracks. And you shouldn't do that. That's like, okay, you take a cup of Kool-Aid, right? And you half of it is Kool-Aid. Less than half. Just say half of the cup is Kool-Aid. And you take this water right here and you pour it and you fill up the cup, right? You fill it up. Then you're going to water down the quality of that good music that Tupac has. So it's going to be garbage. Now, the only way I will purchase it and I will buy it if the estate leaves it intact, leave the original producers on it, and leave the original artists on it, then I would go buy it. Other than that, I don't want to hear no fucking new Tupac music where you got up to date artists and up to date producers on it. I don't want to hear that shit. Keep his music original. They didn't do that shit to Michael Jackson's music, or did they? Well, they may have done it to Michael Jackson's music, but they don't do that shit to Elvis Presley's unreleased music. They don't do that shit to nobody else's the Beatles' unreleased music. They leave that shit intact and put it out. So don't.
Yeah, they should. It should be. I mean, if it's not finished, then you got the part where is it finished? Because if it's not finished, you have to add something else on it because he's not here to add something on it. So I could see that. But if it's a finished track and a finished song, I don't think you should ever mess with somebody else's song.
Yes, I feel you, and that's true.
But it don't matter because my favorite rapper was the D.O.C.
The D.O.C. was that guy. Still is that
he
guy.
He was the guy until he had his accident. So
yeah,
kudos to the doc. I still have that on wax. I love that. Oh, he could.
Now let me.
He was hot. He was hot.
Doc's still hot. He was right. A lot of people didn't know that he wrote majority of the goddamn Chronic album and Gin and Juice for Snoop.
Yes, he did. He did. He tried to rap, but that voice just wouldn't, it wasn't good enough no more. But he could write his ass off, and he was that. I was, oh my God, the formula. Oh goodness.
Yeah. Now when he was over there with Death Row, I remember he said
funky, yeah. Oh, I didn't even. He made me feel rap, and I can't even lie about it. He made me feel rap, and if you couldn't come better than Doc, I didn't like rap.
Yeah. Now he basically said that Dre tried to make him rap while he was over there with Death Row, and he's like, "Nigga, I can't."
No, he couldn't. He did try. It wasn't, he tried.
So is there?
And they had all agreed that he would just be a writer.
So let me ask you a question. Is there any tracks laying around at E1 that got Doc on it trying to rap? Or all of those were deleted?
I doubt it. He might have some personally, but I doubt it. But you hear how he talks? You ever watch one of his interviews? Just think of that as him trying to rap like that.
I had him on my show before. I got him on one of my past shows.
Real horse kind of thing, he went through the windshield and his vocal cords were severed. So his career had just started.
Now let me ask you a question. Did he say it hurt to try to talk, or it didn't hurt him to try to talk or anything?
I honestly, I don't remember if it hurt him trying to talk or not, but it sounded like it. Let's see. Why was artists wanting to leave Death Row? I'm gonna say one because, and this is my opinion. This is what I believe. I believe that should shelve people too long, and they wasn't getting their music out as fast or as promised. Because if a new hotter artist came along, you might have gotten that on a feature for that artist, but you would be pushed back. And if I was an artist and I was on death row and a year passed and you never even worked on my album, and then I had to start complaining, okay, then I worked on my album, and then you didn't promote my album like you might have did a Dre album, a Snoop album, a Pac album, I want to leave too. And as far as people say he wasn't paying them, I can't go with that. I cannot believe in that. The people don't realize should pocket money from his pocket went to artists.
Right.
And they don't understand that. And I kept trying to explain to them, stop taking money because everything is recoupable. And then, like I said, it was ghetto. It was ghetto over there, and we didn't have the right accounting department, and things wasn't run like a real record label should have been
Right. Okay. Now, I gotta ask you this again. Okay. Now you did say you did meet Easy E. You met Easy E a couple times, right or wrong?
Actually, I was at a wedding
Yeah. Okay.
with Izzy, which she's now my best friend. We came to a wedding that he was at with the other doc. I don't know if he died though. The other doc, he
I know
was
you're talking about. Yeah.
okay. So for you guys know, he married who is my good friend right now that lives in Vegas, and that's one of the reasons why I moved to Vegas because of her. It was their wedding. So I didn't have conversation with Easy. Easy was kind of standoffish kind of person. He wasn't social to me. I didn't see the socialness of Easy, so we never really had any conversation.
Okay. Now, after how long after you saw Easy was it before he passed away and died?
Oh, it was a while.
Okay.
It was a while, over maybe a year or two.
Okay. And when you saw Easy, did Eric look sickly to you, or he looked?
I've never seen that man look sick.
Now let me say this, and a lot of people, I think it's because a lot of people seen Eric a lot, and or just didn't want, or a lot of people may not wanted to believe it that Eric was sick. But I remember, and I want everybody to go back and watch the Bone Thugs and Harmony video, "For the Love of Money." And if you look in that video, Eric looked smaller, and he looked as he was losing weight. Like he had lost some weight. He didn't look the same, like he was the same Eric to me. And when I saw that video, I was like, "Wow, Eric, like he done lost weight." And then after that, he was dead. So that was just me.
Yeah, I still don't. That was very quick, and it wasn't that many people dying that quick off of AIDS at the time.
Mm-mm.
And how did magic get cured? I don't know, but it is what it is. I'm very smitten with DOC as an artist.
Mm-hmm.
He was an attractive man. He still is, but yeah, I'm very smitten with him. I don't want him, but yeah, he was my favorite. He was like, if I had to go Google over an artist, it would have been him.
Okay. Now let me go back to the Eric before we ask a question. As we finish reading these guys' questions, when Eric passed, did you see Dre? How did that Did it really take a toll on Dre, or you wasn't around him as much?
No, I don't think Eric Passon took no kind of toll on Dre at all, and that's my opinion.
Okay, so it's, just lying for the cameras, lying for the cameras. Wow.
Yeah, I don't, you know, I didn't see any hard feelings over it. I'm sure the only thing he thought about was, damn, he got AIDS. Can we get AIDS? Because he was sexing up a lot of people himself.
Most definitely.
And when you have that many babies, you apparently wasn't using condom.
Right. And it was, said that Dre and Eric fucked some of the same women. That was allegedly. I'm not going to, go off into that and where I heard it from, but that they were banging some of the same chicks.
They could have been. I don't know. I didn't take names. I know he was messing with one of my friends at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know that for a fact. And I do know she had became pregnant, and yeah, we had to get the money for her to get an abortion.
And she was pregnant by Dre.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And somebody asked, okay, let me hurry up and answer these questions because I gotta go.
Okay.
I don't. Tupac was not broke. I don't know where that even came from. Me and Tupac had a real agreement that if he wasn't happy, talk to me first. He never had an opportunity to talk to me to tell me he was broke. He said as long as he Suge is keeping his promises, he don't have no problem with Suge. I don't know why people think Suge and Tupac had this problem. I was spent a lot of time with this man at
A
his
lot of
house when I
people.
was doing his house,
What?
and he said he knew what he got into, and Suge was the only person that came and got him to jail, and he was okay with it. He wanted to repay Suge, and he wanted to take Suge to another level. Chuck had planned on putting Suge up on the TV game, movie game. And he said that to me. I don't understand why this man, he never seemed like a scary person to me. He didn't seem like he was scared of Suge. So you didn't have to lie to me. And most people, when they talked to me about Suge, it wasn't a lie. They was honest because I was that kind of person. You could tell me anything you wanted to tell me, and I would keep it real for you. And I will go check Suge for people. So I don't know where they keep getting that from.
Well,
I
you,
really don't.
well, you know that comes from a lot of years of individuals telling one-sided stories, and and you got a lot of brainwashed motherfuckers still out there that still believe a lot of that shit. And that's not firing no shots at anyone, but if you feel like the shots was fired at you, oh well, fuck you. That is
Yeah.
what it is.
You
But
know, I'm gonna mention this because I would like to answer people's questions. James, it wasn't ran at some points like a regular. It wasn't ran like Interscope. Let me say that. It wasn't run like my office. Um, I had different ethics than they did. Uh, should to say one thing to an artist and another thing to an accountant or whoever, and it just was too much. He was too friendly with the artist at a point where business kept being mixed up with personal, and it just wasn't done like it should have been done. Although he hired people to do it, did they do it right? I don't think so, because come on, the accountant stole $1 million from him. So you got to, whether you have an accountant or not, you got to watch your own dollars, sign your own checks.
most definitely.
So, I don't know why it was ghetto. I mean, and I was always the rival. Everything we did at Death Row, I did the opposite at Nightlife. They had red carpet. I was big on having the blue carpet. Not that I like blue at all. I don't even think I own anything blue, but I was gonna have blue carpet, and that's what I did. My logo was even blue and gray, and that's probably because Joe Cruz designed my logo for me, and Snoop had an office over there, so we were kind of like rivals at a point where they did something, I did the opposite.
Right. Now let me say this and see if you
Mm,
may remember anything about it. Now, a lot of people said that Suge Knight had $1 million life insurance on Tupac when Tupac got killed, and that was the furthest thing from the truth. And my thing is, why would Suge only put $1 million life insurance policy on Pac? I would think he would up that. But here's the thing, and
yeah,
Reggie explained it to me, the $1 million insurance policy that everybody was talking about. Now, yes,
yeah.
Suge put $1 million policy up, but it wasn't, I repeat, it was not a life insurance policy. The Hughes brothers had.
Let me say this:
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
as a manager, now that I'm older and I'm wiser,
mm-hmm,
I would put a life insurance policy on all my artists. And
right.
only because people don't realize that that's no different than you put a life insurance policy on for yourself or your kids so you can bury those people, or that's your income.
Mm-hmm,
And if Snoop was my income and my livelihood and something happens to him, guess what? I've taken a loss of all of
mm-hmm.
that income. And if I'm paying for life insurance on you, Rail, what damn difference does it make?
Right.
Do I think Suge had one? I don't understand. First of all, Suge didn't believe in life insurance
Mm-mm.
policy. He
No.
don't even have one on himself unless
Mm,
somebody put one on him.
right.
So
But
come on,
can I tell you? Can I
some
tell
stuff
you?
that
Right. Can I tell you what
go
what
ahead.
the policy was? The policy was
What was
because it wasn't a life insurance policy. It was $1 million policy, and it wasn't life insurance to show that not Suge, but Tupac would show up for movies because Tupac was trying to get back into the movie business after he got out of jail. And a lot of the companies did not want to fuck with Tupac because of the Hughes brothers put such a bad name on him. Oh, he don't show up to on time to the set. He don't show up sometime at all. So they wanted $1 million policy put into play. So okay, if Tupac don't show up, we're gonna get paid. We can get paid. And so Suge put that $1 million up, and it wasn't a life insurance policy, people. What it is,
I
Reggie.
don't know what it is. What's that football player that has beautiful hair and ended up with Troy Polamalu? Something like that. She said. He has a policy on his hair. So if somebody caught him sleeping and cut his hair off, he got paid. So people don't understand that you insure when you have a business and that's your livelihood is your business. It's not like a job. A job gives you 401k and all that, and jobs give you life insurance policies too, so which they pay for. So this is where the life insurance policy thing come up. And like I said, me being the age and having the wisdom that I have now, I would have put a life insurance policy on everybody that signed, every single person. But thank goodness nobody I've ever signed passed away.
Okay, that's a great thing. Now,
And for that matter, we should have had a life insurance policy. We should have a life insurance policy on sure.
now where is the dog at? The dog. What was his name? The famous dog.
Donald, please.
What was his name?
Donald.
Bamu.
Donald.
Was he a good dog?
Donald. I don't know where the hell Donald at. I want to know where my dog at. Bear is at. I have no idea where is the cockatiel Chanticleer at that he had. Where is all that stuff at? They probably dead. It's been a long time, and I'm sure them animals are still not alive.
No, they
So
dead.
whoever asking about an animal, please, they're dead. I'm sure they're dead.
No, everybody wants to know what happened to him because that was Suge's favorite dog. Suge always had that dog with him.
Suge. Why people don't get Suge? Suge is whatever is tickling his fancy at the moment, and that dog was tickling his fancy. He don't give a damn about that dog.
Damu, okay.
Suge, I bought Suge a Rottweiler. He wanted this Rottweiler, and I bought him this Rottweiler. She left that Rottweiler right there when I left my house, and I had to take the dog, and we finally I'm gonna put the dog in a training. Do you know? Yeah, we put the dog in a training, and he was winning all kind of awards. Do you think that man gave Suge let his dog back? Because Suge never came to see the damn dog. So that's what it is.
Did
Suge don't care about nothing.
Did Suge try to come get the dog back?
He tried once, but what was he going to keep the dog? The man looked at him, and he would pay for the dog, the man that had the dog, but it got to a point where he stopped paying the man. The man said, "It's my dog."
How Suge gonna leave the goddamn Rottweiler behind? What the fuck? What was the Rottweiler's name?
It was a beautiful, and he named it Bear.
Bear.
And it was winning all kind of awards. The man was taking it to shows and everything. And I love that dog. The only difference, I was allergic to that dog.
Mm-hmm.
And I had just had Arian at the time, and the dog actually jumped on the car seat. So I was like, okay, I can't have the dog and the baby. Somebody got to go. So I told him the dog has to go. I can't take this big old dog right now. And he sent the dog back to the trainer. So whose dog is it? The trainer's.
Yeah, that's true. So, who was Pac closest to in the mob other than Suge? And this question comes from Jeffrey Golston.
I have no idea who he was close to. I didn't see Pac be with anybody outside of his little clique. I didn't see him personally be with any of the mob people. I saw him with his little clique.
Okay. Pac's clique. Well,
Who's Dogman? I don't know who Dogman is.
mm,
No, I'm not. Kenzie, I'm not mad at Michelle anymore. I really am not. I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it. And I'm not even mad. I'm not mad no more. I am so over it. I'm 50 years old. I am so over her stupid ass. I don't know what to do with myself.
oh, speaking of Michelle, Michelle was just here the other day in Detroit doing a little
Oh,
small event, right? And
well.
the ex co-host of my show, Dorian Black, right? He
Mhm.
he did a little little stand up for her while they was getting ready for the thing, and took a bunch of pictures with her. And he said, "Man, I don't know if I was dreaming, but I thought Michelle A was winking at me with the pussy." I was like, "No, nigga, she was really winking at you with the pussy. You could have fucked her, from what I heard." And that's
Yeah. Y'all better, I ain't putting business out there, but y'all better leave that alone.
y'all better leave that pussy alone. Herps,
Well, you know,
the herps,
I don't know who killed Biggie.
allegedly.
I could speculate who killed Big. I could speculate,
Hmm.
and that's all I can do. So I don't know, no different, and I'm gonna speculate on who killed Pop. You got everybody has a speculation. The only people that know who killed Pac is the people that was in the car, and maybe Suge and Pac. I don't
Hmm.
know if Suge. Well, I do believe Suge knows. We all else have to speculate. I was not in the car with Biggie. I was not on the street that day. I would have to speculate who the guy was, and I'm not going to speculate.
Facts.
I've been shown plenty of evidence, and I'm going to believe uh, Greg Kading's story or his rundown of some things. Now, Greg Kading, I don't believe everything he says. I do not, because he has some flaws in his story when it comes to me and Kevin Gaines.
Hmm.
So no, I don't believe everything he says, but some of the stuff he says is accurate.
Some of the things, not 90% of the
Not
things.
everything.
Right.
And I mean, he has. We talked about Kevin Gaines, and he has this different version than I do of this man, and it's fine. That's his version, and and then I could do about somebody else's opinion of somebody else. I don't think he cared for Kevin Gaines at all, so he has a negative version about him. He claimed some receipts he saw when he picked up some stuff out of death row, and in his book he claimed I was getting $1,000 a month. That's so bull. Hell, I don't think so. My grocery bill $1,000 a month, and I damn sure wasn't getting no $1,000 no month. So some of the stuff, he says I can't. That's what he said. He found evidence, and that's on him. But no, he's way wrong. He's wrong with the whole script of me being, when they came to my house, I was not like that, and I tried to explain it to him, but he had
Hmm.
already wrote his book. So
Right.
I can't, he didn't go back and change because I said something. So we all have our versions of every single thing. It's my opinion. I can only tell you what my eyes saw or what my ears heard. Other than
Hmm.
that, everybody got an opinion on this whole death row, Biggie, Pop, everything.
Right. You 100% right on that. So when do we wash our hands with it and just move away from it? Because it seems like it's the same shit is just happening. The same shit is the same stories is being told differently by the same people. I mean, goddamn. When do
You
we
know what
put
I
this shit to
realized?
bed?
Because, real, years ago, and the reason why people can tell you, oh, we didn't know nothing about her, because I'm not a limelight hogger. I did my job. I went home. I liked that. I like that I went home and I can still go to the hood. I associate, and I'm very flirtatious. I speak to everybody. I will stop and have conversations. So I like that in my life. And, so I didn't try to get in pictures with Snoop or pictures with Dre. That's why they probably say, she's probably not in too many pictures. No, I'm not in too many pictures because I like to go home in the evening and be myself, be who I am. And should love
The attention.
line. He loved the lights. He's been in the lights all his life as far as football is concerned. I didn't, outside of gymnastics, that was it. And I didn't do performing gymnastics, so I never was in the lights. So he enjoyed the spotlight. I didn't enjoy that. And the only reason why I came out the closet now is because to clarify rumors that involved me.
Good deal, because you like I say you and Reggie did the same thing, came out because so many people were just, one sided telling stories about the man, so he had to come out and clarify his name and clear himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I'm clearing my name. My kids are
Yeah,
getting
and
older.
I think Suge does get a bum rap, because I know for a fact Suge wasn't at a whole lot of places when people said, "Oh, Suge was just here." Really, because Suge got here. So, you get that. Everything was involving Suge. Suge did it. Suge did it. It just became a Suge did it thing
Yeah, that's
at a
true.
point. Don't get me wrong. I think I don't know why Suge did his plea. He had his reasons, I'm sure.
Hmm.
I could speculate the reasons, but I don't honestly know the reasons. But he did what was best for him at the time, and that's all I can say. I feel bad for this man to go to prison like that, to waste everything he's built, and just to sit in prison. I don't think he's guilty as far as deliberately running over Terry Carter. I do not feel that he's guilty on that.
Hmm.
Um, I really don't. I watched that video over and over and over, and he didn't do it deliberately.
No, it's like he was trying to get the fuck
Now,
away from
the
out of
other
there.
cases,
It's like he was just trying to get the fuck out of there. That's all to it.
yeah,
Hmm. So wow,
everybody's trying to make money, and that's what I didn't understand. Like all these, and it should be. Let me say this and put this on the record. It should be against the law for cops to retire and tell about cases that they were on. That should be
agreed,
against the law.
agreed.
You cannot You should not be able to be at your job where you're getting paid for and you are privy to information and then you allowed to make a book on what you saw. It should be against the law. I don't understand how cops can do that. I really don't understand that.
I agree with you 100% on that. But hey, it's done. It's the American way. It's the,
You guys, believe it or not, I used to manage Gonzo.
oh yeah, Gonzo. I think we know that. They know.
Yeah, I used to manage Gonzo. I managed a group called Guess. But seems to me everybody ended up that manager was on another label and that label wasn't working out right and they wanted to be on Death Row. And everything got turned back to Death Row because I can understand it because Death Row was hot at the time.
But let me ask you this: when I get signed and I sign my deal to a certain radio station or whatever, are you going to be my manager?
Well, I told you you don't need a manager, but you don't believe me. But I will definitely be more than happy to run your business because that's what it is.
Yeah, run the business. You know what I'm saying? Let's get these checks. Let's cash these checks.
Yes, I do feel bad for to children. He wasn't that much in the kid's life, and this took a lot more out of his life. Me and my daughter don't even talk about his situation. She just don't want to talk about it. And she said when he can take visitors, she'll go and visit him. And, he has that youngest son that I don't know how old he is. I know he's under 10.
Mm-hmm.
At least, that this his dad and mom is in jail. It's just sad. At a time I tried to get Suge to go sit down somewhere, and I'm like, you're getting too old for this. Stop hanging out in the clubs. Stop doing things the old way.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he was when he turned 50. Well, guess where he turned 50 at?
In jail.
In jail.
Now let me
Yeah,
see.
but I really I feel bad for him. I feel he got a bum deal. And I'm not knocking nothing that Suge did to other people. I'm not saying that he was right for that. Don't get me wrong. I think that's a different situation. I'm talking about the situation that got him where he's at now. That's not the thing that he should be in jail for. That's
No,
definitely not the thing.
no doubt. No
But
doubt.
all right, guys.
Well, Sharitha, I thank you for giving us the best 2 hours of your life. And I will see you next week when we return for Pump It or Dump It next week.
Okay.
Okay.
Your older daughter had getting to be. You know, she doesn't like speaking, although she speaks and does presentations very well.
Hmm.
She don't like it. And her thing to this is she's she's not a clout chaser, so she doesn't want fame on her daddy's name.
Good deal.
And she just feels like that she was young. She was young during the death row days, so she don't have much to speak on about death row. She could only speak about her father, and some of it is just personal, and that's how she feels about it. So no, she's not gonna do. I doubt if she ever do an interview again
And
or
I
anything.
got the very first one. God
You did, and I
damn
had to
right.
beg her to do that. So
I got the very first one.
yes, I feel they set Suge up too. I really do. They did set Suge up. Suge went right into a trap, and I feel bad that he went right into the trap. And let me just say this before I end, and I'm gonna say he went into a trap because if you know Suge, I've never seen Suge ride to something like something that would transpire like that by himself.
Most definitely.
He rode there. People don't realize this man had no ill intentions. He was there by himself.
Mm-hmm.
And come on now, you guys think about that first of all. Regardless of how you feel about Suge, one thing for sure, Suge very seldom roll to things like that. Personally, these people called him there, and he thought they were his friends, and that's what happened. And you know, y'all could be mad at Suge, whoever the Suge haters, and that's fine. That's your opinion. I'm not going to tell you who to like, and I don't want
Mm-hmm.
you to tell me who to like and to dislike. So,
Right.
but I'm just telling you, I have much love for Suge, much love for Suge, and if I could have paid his bill, I'd have got Suge out of jail.
No doubt. Well, Sharitha, I'm going to say this before we end the show. Um, since you were, over at death row, I feel that you should get on the phone with the plaque makers, and I'm gonna send a check over for the $300, and you tell them to give that guy real a death row plaque from All Eyes on Me, and the check is in the mail. God damn it! We don't do checks no more. We can do it that shit cash app bullshit. We can send you $300 through the cash app, and you send it over to the plaque maker and RIA logo on it, and tell them to send it over to the 313
No,
Live show.
I never had a death row chain. FYI, my daughter still has hers. My daughter definitely still has her chain.
Reggie still has his chain.
Yeah. Now I don't have no chain. I'm not gonna wear no death row chain, so I can't even lie on it. With the diamonds and all that, I could have got one. That's not. I barely wear jewelry, so no.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for tuning
Oh,
in.
who won? I was so off and was doing something else. Who won the Pump It or Dump It? The R&B
Oh
guy?
yeah, Tracy. Tracy won it. Tracy, the rare breed. He won it. 18-0, baby. 18 pumps, no dumps. What was it? Primetime Jit was on his ass. 15 pumps, 0 dumps. So yeah, it was on and popping. Hey, Primetime
Wait
Jit
a
gonna take
minute.
this motherfucker.
Wait a minute. Who wants some college money? Who are you talking about? Who wants some college money?
Who won what college money?
This was told her to hit me up if she wants some college money. Who are you talking about? My daughter got 2 degrees. Who are you talking about? You can pay some of those student loans off that I ain't paid for. Well, that's not true. I did give her the money. She spent it on something else. But however, if she wants to sell, the Tesla chain is that little one that don't have no diamonds on it that he gave everybody for Mother's Day when he had his Mother's Day thing. So it's the little one, and I think she still rocks that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she will ever sell.
Nah, she won't sell that. That's priceless.